All right, guys, here we are again. We are going to continue with part 2 of chapter 1. So, this guy shows up at Jim and his dad and mom's inn in the middle of the country by the sea and asks for rum and starts here, right here. This, when it was brought to him, he drank slowly, like a connoisseur, lingering on the taste and still looking about him at the cliffs and up at our signboard. So he doesn't even come into the inn. He just stands there, beats on the door with a stick, demands some rum, and when they bring it to him, he sips it slowly while looking around. Super sketch. "This is a handy cove," says he at length, "and a pleasant situated grog shop. Much company, mate?" My father told him no, very little company, the more was the pity, meaning they don't get a lot of visitors, they don't get a lot of customers, which means they don't make a lot of money, so they're poor. "Well then," said he, "this is the berth for me. Here you, matey," he cried to the man who trundled the barrow, "bring up alongside and help up my chest. I'll stay here a bit," he continued. "I'm a plain man. Rum and bags, what? Rum and bags? Sorry. Rum and bacon and eggs is what I want, and that head up there to watch ships off." So, meaning, I want rum and bacon and eggs every day, and I want that room right there because it's got a window that lets me watch the shore and lets me see in the ocean and watch the ships go by. So Jim's dad kind of interrupts him here hiddenly because this guy then says, "What might you call me?" Like Jim asks, "Okay, what do we call you?" "You might call me Captain." So obviously Captain isn't his name. So this guy shows up looking like a drowned rat on steroids with a suspicious treasure chest and doesn't even give his name. "Oh, whoa. Oh, I see what you're after. There." And he threw down 3 or 4 gold pieces on the threshold. That means he gives him money, but he doesn't even give Jim's dad the money in his hand. He throws it on the ground. Like, I'm sorry, not in my house. Who the heck do you think you are? No. "You can tell me when I've worked through that," he says, looking as fierce as a commander. And indeed, bad as his clothes were, and coarsely as he spoke, he had none of the appearance of a man who sailed before the mast, but seemed like a mate or skipper accustomed to being obeyed or to strike. The man who came with the barrow told us the mail had set him down the morning before at the Royal George, that he inquired what inns there were along the coast, meaning along the sea, and hearing ours well spoken of, I suppose, and described as lonely, keyword, lonely, had chosen it from the others for his place of residence. And that was all we could learn of our guest. He was a very silent man by custom. All day he hung around the cove or upon the cliffs with a brass telescope. All evening he sat in a corner of the parlor near the fire and drank rum and water, very strong, meaning he was drunk. He is a drunk dude. Mostly he would not speak when spoken to, only look up sudden and fierce and blow through his nose like a foghorn. And we and the people who came about our house soon learned to let him be. Every day when he came back from his stroll, he would ask if any seafaring men had come by along the road. At first we thought it was the want of company of his own kind that made him ask this question, but at last we began to see that he was desirous to avoid them. So this guy walks around all day with a telescope watching the sea, and then when he gets back, he asks if any seafaring men, meaning sailors, did any sailors show up looking for him? And at first, Jim and his family thought, oh, he wants to hang out with other sailors. And then they realized, no, he doesn't want anything to do with them. Okay. So lots of really interesting, suspicious details here.